all the things that impact us as Latinos, our students growing, our youth growing up. Prisons were mentioned. Back home, I'm involved in a lot of different things throughout the community, whether it's trying to keep kids out of prison, whether it's education, whether it's the healthcare system, whether it's the housing, whatever it is. And I think a lot of us are pretty much in the same boat. There's so many things that affect us as Latinos. And I would like to request that you, maybe even if you have to do this, put it in such a way that at 12 o'clock we can go to, we can go to, that there is something. Education is represented at 12 o'clock, at 1 o'clock, at 2 o'clock, and at 3 o'clock. So is healthcare, so is immigration, so all these different issues, so that if I or other people who are here have more than one interest, we're not skipping a session, right? Not missing out on something. But that we also concentrate on what unites us, and that we realize that we're all leaders here in this room, or we wouldn't be here. And to engage each other and to just really be involved and stay connected. What it also we can make a difference in everything that's affecting us in this great state of California.
So as any other
participated in a discussion about early childhood education and the importance of early childhood education in the success of our children. Thank you. We know that Head Start is doing wonderful work here in our county and across the country, but we also want to discuss potential other opportunities to support children in other settings besides Head Start. Also, I think I would like to take this opportunity to thank the administration.
I spent my time grappling with these issues: education, how do we get it, healthcare, employment, et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of all that, what is there for all of us? It's called retirement. That doesn't mean you don't work, right? But it means you engage in things you really enjoy. And believe it or not, it actually comes a lot quicker than you believe. Listen to your parents. I can't believe it, but it's coming on me. So what's the issue here? I'd like to talk 30 minutes this afternoon. And that's about retirement. After you've grappled with all the social issues and you're at the end there, what you can do for retirement income stream? It's going to come from your organization, where there's been a lot of cuts. You can see what's happening in the city of San Jose. If you're working for the federal government, and those who come visit us, I can tell you I was back in Washington, D.C. about 3 weeks ago, and their program, our version of CalPERS here in California, is called the Federal PERS program. And lo and behold, we had a gentleman from California, a legislator, who's proposing to the super committee just 2 months ago to cut that entire program out and put the money management challenge on each and every one of you. So is anybody interested in knowing what we'll be doing in terms of income stream when we retire? I mean, I guess when that age is upon you, 55, 65, what have you. So if you are, please take a few moments, about 30 minutes I'm being told at table 14. I'm glad to facilitate that discussion. And more importantly, at the end of those 30 minutes, you can help me coordinate a strong message to the people back in D.C. to tell them it's nice to come out and talk to us, but you tell me, Mr. President or legislators, tell me that you're not going to cut out that retirement program, because lo and behold, I don't want you to tell me that the new 65 is 85. Because I like to work out, but when I'm 85, I want to watch some television, okay? So, table 14, I'm looking forward to that discussion. And if Mr. The gentleman that was up here who's working for the Hispanic Alliance, I'm trying to remember the gentleman, he was up there at the very beginning. If he can join me, you know who you are. You work with the Hispanic.
Basically in September of 2012. So it's right around the corner. The one thing that we need is we need to make sure that they reach their goal of 30% minority and women-owned businesses, and also small business goal, because there's $6 billion that are going to be dropping into the state. And then also what we need to do is we need to organize as business people to support this project. This is the largest infrastructure project in the state of California history. And you know what? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But we need you to help us fight for that to make sure it does happen. They're going to be releasing the bonds here shortly. The governor needs your support. Also, there's other things that are going to need to be going on around water, but we specifically need this high-speed rail system the state of California. So you can get to LA in 2 hours and 30 minutes, or you can come visit us in Fresno in just an hour. So wouldn't you like doing that and not having to go up and down and go through all the traffic and the brakes, to turn and brakes, stops, slides, whatever it is. It's a nice, easy ride, easy way to get around the state of California, move people at the same time, get the air cleaner for us. So remember, anything that you do, if you're a caterer, if you lay concrete, if you weld, if you do in construction, if you own a hotel, all these things are going to be very, very important to this system. And if you don't get in line to get your piece of the action, don't complain when you don't get it. Because only we can make things happen. You can make things happen, not only for yourself, but for your family and for your community. Thank you.
Table 15, one of the top things.
Well, my name is Ronaldo Bill. I'm with Ray Labs, and I have a quick question. How many of you have an Android phone or iPhone in this crowd? I'd say a pretty good majority. 60% of Latinos have smartphones. You know how many Latinos are building apps for those devices? 0. Me. We're looking at it. I'm the guy that represents us in Silicon Valley. I'm a member of the Silicon Valley Hispanic Chamber. I'm the only tech company that chamber building apps for these economy. I need all of you to come and talk to me about how we can train our people to build apps for our economy, because if we don't do it, no one else will. So please come and join me at this session. The topic is Latino job creation and apps. Silicon Valley, a few miles away from the biggest
world hurt and a lot of problems. They need to learn how to solve those problems and how to be part of the solution. So I like to engage in that conversation with you on how you can help to empower young people to help be part and civically engaged in our community. Thank you.
Great, now we table 21 at 1 o'clock. And once again, they say 30 minutes, but anybody who's leading the session can increase it by 15 or another half hour or so, depending upon how the conversation is going. And that will reflect as the day goes forward. Thank you.
My name is Ruben Abrica. I'm the Vice Mayor of the City of East Palo Alto. And I want to read what my little proposal is to discuss with anyone who is open. I'll join your table or join my table. I'm a special interest in starting or strengthening collaboratives at the local level to address health disparities and create healthy, safe communities. Also, to have those collaboratives serve as a vehicle to educate, advocate, and take action. Just briefly, when I had the opportunity to be mayor in 2006 at East Palo Alto, and I decided to convene a community health roundtable because I felt that so many services were fragmented, and we really didn't communicate with each other. We didn't collaborate. And I also felt at the city council that we should be involved in health issues. We should know and we should advocate for everyone in the community. So, it's still operating. It was very successful. We had people from the county, from the school district, from nonprofits, from the community. And it's still a vehicle that I think is important at the very local level for us to do that. So I'm looking forward to discussing with you and sharing ideas and maybe create a bigger network so that we can connect across the counties and work with the federal government, of course. Thank you. And so they assigned me table 22 at 2 p.m. Table 2. Okay, table 2 at 2 p.m. Gracias.
Gracias.
Hi, my name is Patricia Lindo, and I'm the National President for NORA, the National Hispanic Organization of Real Estate Associates. And today we would like to lead a discussion on the California Housing Recovery Initiative. We are part of the implementation task force, and what we do is we provide bilingual education to the public, to business owners, and to any of the people who are involved in ancillary service providers to housing. So there are a lot of resources available. There are programs available that people are not aware of. We find that people are being taken advantage of by people who are charging them fees when they should not. And we teach them the process, we teach them the options, we help them acquire relocation assistance, and also teach them how to renew and restore their credit so they can get back on track with their life. So we've been assigned table 23 at 2 p.m. At 3 o'clock.
Table 3 at 2 o'clock. Thank you so much. We'll have our representatives during that conversation.
I'm George Castro, and I'm the president of the
Well, can't hear you.
I'm sorry. I'm George Castro. I'm the president of the Esta Institute. And one of the main things we've been doing is raising money and helping students go to college.
You can come to my session so I can share some of my stories. And I created a website called latinasnow.com, which has been a very interesting experience because I did it all myself, and I also got a trademark for Latinas Now. So I'm really excited about that. I wanted to share that with you. Thank you.
Great. That will be taking place at 2 o'clock, table 6.
Hello everyone, my name is Stephanie Bravo. I am the co-founder and president of a startup nonprofit in higher education called studentmentor.org. And what we are is the first ever national college mentoring program that really helps students succeed in their academics, graduate from college, and help them achieve career readiness. And so what I want to talk about is higher education, how Latinos are not achieving what we need to achieve in order to be competitive in the workforce of tomorrow. So I would like to kind of open it up and discuss higher education, how we can get more students into college and then graduate them from college and get them into the workforce. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Table 7, 2 o'clock. Focus on higher education. We'll ensure that Jose Rico is in attendance. I also will be in attendance.
Good afternoon. My name is Julio Pardo, director for the Valdez Math Institute. I'd just like to talk about success in mathematics. Our goal is that all students would succeed in calculus before leaving high school, because we know that algebra is actually the gatekeeper of students going to college. Unfortunately, a lot of Hispanic students do not succeed, and they're not getting past algebra. So
I'm going to echo what David just talked about, and what I'd like to do is to have you join Maria Fuentes and I in a discussion about access, success, and equity in community colleges, particularly for our Latino population, for our Latino students. We heard earlier from Jose that more Latinos are entering because of what we've been able to provide for them at the federal level. The reality is that we want to make sure that when they enter, more enter, they stay and they do well. So then they can continue to achieve other levels of education that would be important. So I would like to make sure that we have an opportunity with you to have a conversation to create what I think is missing for us in Santa Clara County, a common language and a common ground as we think about the importance of maintaining access, opportunities, and certainly the success of our Latino students. So join me this afternoon.
Table 10.
Table 10.
At 3 o'clock. Would you like to join
3 o'clock.
Dr. Lopez? It seems like you're focused on K through 12, section.
Sure.
Great. So we're going to consolidate this session with Dr. Lopez's session, which is taking place at 2 o'clock, table 9. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Hola. I'm Hernan Vargas, and I used to be called El Perro de las Finanzas back between 2006 2010 in a radio show. The reason why I was called that way is because I used to tell things as I saw them, and we foresaw this crisis, and we help a lot of Hispanics avoid all the problems that happened in the last few years, and I wish we had a chance to reach out to more people. The reason I'm here is because I belong to 2 regional and state initiatives that I work already under the USDA and the Federal Reserve System to create a sustainable economy in California and throughout the United States. That's a state initiative. And there's going to be a big conference in May, and I would like to see most of you or organizations represented here and there. It's the first time California is going to go through a strategic planning process. And the key idea, the key initiative is all of us should be united, talking about our respective positions, but united. I'm not going to create any more tables because I think we have enough. and I'm not gonna be in, I cannot be, it's impossible to be in the 7 tables that I think talk about the same things. And I see many leaders that probably should be talking about the things from inception together. And the other initiative I am working on is, I'm an advisory member in the Business Climate and Education Committee, Workforce Development Committee of the East Bay Economic Development Alliance. I live in Oakland. And both the state and the regional initiatives found out the same problem, that we Hispanics need to be given priority in education. But we have to do it in a way, whereas we are all connected. The institutions that already exist, like the Hispanic chambers, the institutions that already exist, like Alpha and SHIP, right, that work with professional Hispanics. Other institutions where Hispanics are doing efforts that are isolated. How is that we connect them all? How is that we connect to take advantage of this wonderful venue that we've been given? So I would like, that these 7 tables somehow cooperate together when talking about collaboration, talking about integration, talking about how is that we can make the whole education system, bring more Hispanics into these STEM fields, right? Because we need them going into that field. Otherwise, California is going to fail. We're not going to get enough, enough workers to fill these jobs that already exist. So hopefully there's going to be a chance for all these 7 tables to work together to strategize about, as Stephanie Bravo said, how that we can bring the whole chain, right, from kindergarten up to technical and college degree education, so we can find the right workers and a good positive future for all Hispanics in California and the United States. Thanks.
Great, so you'll be joining the session that's taking place at 1 o'clock. Thank you.
I actually want to join with table number 20 with Ludmila Lopez, because it echoes the same thing that Elizabeth echoes, the administrator for the U.S. Small Business Administration. The chamber is actually working on an SPDC Hispanic satellite, and I'd like to talk to you, anybody interested in creating jobs, job creation and small businesses support for Hispanic businesses. And keep it nice and short.
Great, I know there was another session taking place, if you're okay with joining the, great, so we're going to consolidate that with our colleague from the SBA.
How is it that they could engage the community and create a plan that's going to graduate the number of Latinos, the number of students to a college, but the mayor was very concerned with the number of Latinos that did not have a college degree. And the whole city of San Antonio, we're talking about the 10th largest city in the country, they only have 100,000 college graduates in San Antonio. More than 90% of the students that graduate from high school receive remedial education at the Alto Community College District, 90%. The dropout rate is pretty high, and the way the city was going in terms of their educational attainments, less than half of the students receive early learning programs. So when he talked to us, he said, we have the P20 Council. Can you guys help us get some money to be able to do college access programs for the P20 Council, because we don't have any money to be able to do this. And we want to really focus on one thing, and the one thing we want to focus is getting more kids to college. And so the mayor was very adamant, and he said he wants to do the P20 Council. And we said, okay. We asked him a couple of tough questions. He thought about it, and he said, let me get back to you.
And where they were plugged in and where they work in the community. And I'm thinking about the reason why I'm here. I've got a background as a school board member in Salinas and Salinas High School District. And it occurs to me that one of the things I always hear when it comes to Latino groups is, and some of you are not going to be happy with me, is the poor me, poor Latino, boo-hoo. Well, we have to stop doing that. I really believe, and you just said that, we have got to stop saying this is only a Latino issue, because when we do that, we actually are saying, I can't, and this is what we're teaching our kids, I can't, you can't, it'll never, I pobrecito. And you know, within the Latino community, one of the things that's always occurred to me, and I was raised in this community, was that we do this labeling that goes on in the community, and it's la flaca, la gorda, la negra, la chica, la this, la that. And we label our kids. And these are the kids that are coming up from school districts. And when you label students, they're going to achieve exactly how you label them. So if you say to them, oh, this isn't my smartest one, guess what? The kid is not going to really produce very much for you because you've already said that they're not very smart, they can't do it. And so, and I heard the gentleman go out talking about that one of the things that he couldn't get is counselors to believe that these students could achieve in these medical programs, yet we know they can. I'd kind of like to hear some solutions around collaboration, intervention, what can be done with the funding that you have, not the boo-boo funding you don't have, it's not there. Stop crying over what we don't have. You don't have it, right? Like within a household budget. If somebody loses their job, you can cry all day and keep spending on last year's budget, you're going to go broke. You have to live with what you have, and I just remind everybody, there are people who have learned and achieved and gone to college and become president of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, you know, when they say he was writing in the dirt with a stick. So, you know, we cry about technology. I actually think sometimes the technology has been, I hate to say, but a big deterrent.
I will talk about benchmarking, and what you just mentioned is just showing what's happening in other places that works. And I belong to the Hispanic Economic Development Alliance, to the Education and Workforce Development Committee, and we started the Hispanic, started doing, like you said, in San Antonio, because it's the model that Sarah was mentioning too, the Hispanic Federation. So the Hispanic Economic Development Alliance is a loosely based group of more than 100 organizations, individuals, institutions, includes the big corporations in the East Bay from Richmond to Fremont, like Clorox or Kaiser, or the small, mid-sized businesses, mayors from all the cities, politicians, etc., etc. We were convened by this very small nonprofit. It's just 4 people that decided to put together a study for the East Bay. And the priority that came out as a conclusion is, if we don't do something for education, especially for Hispanic education, the whole region is going to disappear, it's going to vanish. No, there are currently no workers to fill clean the positions. There are no people with the skills. We have a lot of unemployed people in construction, for example, Hispanics, right? For green construction, they cannot be hired because they don't know how to work in these specialized fields. They don't need to be college educated. They need technical education. That education does not exist to the extent that it should. So we were convening all these 200 people, and we were sitting for 6 hours, and we couldn't leave the place until we came up with solutions. And we were separated in groups, and exactly what happened in San Antonio. Yeah. And now we have a platform, we have a plan, we have a roadmap. For example, we know that for community colleges to receive the funding that they say they need, they will be subject to conditions. They need to work with the private sector, with the businesses, with the job brigade. They need to develop curricula that suits the needs of these jobs for the present and the future. And these jobs of the present and the future need a lot of participation of Hispanics. It's because Hispanics now are such a large percentage of the population in the East Bay, and California for that matter. So they need us. But they don't come and knock at the door looking for us. We need to proactively engage. When I was in the meeting of 200 people, there were probably just 15 Hispanics. And the rest were the representative of Hispanic organizations. When I talked with them, they didn't even know an organization like Alpha or SHIP exists. I myself recognize I'm Hispanic, that I didn't know about the wonderful job that Jimmy is doing late last year. So, you know, we have all these wonderful resources, all these programs like Esta, the volunteering initiatives that the young gentleman there mentioned. All these are successful examples of things that already exist. They just need to be replicated. Yeah. But the only way this can happen is we all sit down together and force us to think together as a group in the needs of the entire community, not just us, Hispanics. Right.